Hi everyone, it's me, your music teacher, Mix Lydia, here with another episode. So today, same as normal, we're going to start with our active listening. Then we're going to hear a story of the Raja's Secret from India. And then we're going to play a little tempo freeze game. Okay, so today I want to talk about the music of India. India is located in South Asia. The capital of India is New Delhi, and they speak Hindi there. Now, in India, they have some really cool instruments. They have a lot of string instruments like the sitar. The sitar is a big instrument with lots of sympathetic vibrations. Kind of like our snare drum buzzes every time we hit it. Well, they have those same type of strings on a sitar that vibrates when we play the sitar. So that's pretty cool. There's also different kinds of tabla drums that are doing these speaking patterns, and they use a counting system called tala, where they count on each of the joints of their fingers to go through. Yes, so let's use our active listening to see what we hear in this example. What'd you think about that? Pretty cool, right? Okay, so now I want to tell you a story. This once again comes from the Singing Sack, and it comes from India, and it's called The Raja's Secret. So in this story, the Raja is very self-conscious about his secret, and he does everything in his power to make sure it stays secret. Let's see how well that works for him in this story. Once upon a time, there was a king, a Raja in India. Now, when this king was a small boy, he used to get made fun of because he had really big ears. People were always giving him a hard time.
Look at the elephant ears on that kid. It's bigger than Ganesh's.
And so from that day on, the prince always wore a kantopi to hide his big ears so that no one would pick on him again. And he continued to wear it even when he became Raja. Now, the people of the kingdom didn't realize why the king was always wearing a kantopi. They thought it was just stylish. And they said, well, if it's good enough for the king, it's good enough for me. Soon everyone in the kingdom was wearing kantopis. And only one person knew of the Raja's secret. The only person who knew the Raja's secret was the royal barber Manji. He was tasked with cutting the Raja's hair, and so only he knew the true secret of the Raja's big ears. The Raja warned Manji, "Manji, you must never tell anybody of my secret, otherwise I will be forced to punish you." Manji understood, and he said, "Of course, Your Majesty, your secret is safe with me." And with that, The Raja put his hat back on, and off he went. Now, Manji wasn't actually good at keeping a secret. He had never kept a secret in his whole life, but he knew this was a very important one. If he didn't keep this, he would surely be punished by the king. One day, as Manji was walking home, he saw a giant tree, and he thought, "Oh, this'll be perfect. Trees can't talk. I can tell it my secret." So he went over to the tree and sat down and said, "Oh, tree, please keep my secret. The Raja has really big ears. He hides them underneath a kantopi so that no one will find out. Please keep my secret, otherwise I'll be punished." And with that, Manji felt a little bit better. Well, shortly after Manji left, who do you think came into the forest but the royal carpenter? He was on the look for a nice tree to make some beautiful instruments out of. And when he saw this same tall tree, he said, "This will be perfect. I'll just grab what I need." And he went and started cutting down the branches. Pew, 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 pew. He gathered up the lumber and took them home to make instruments out of. When the carpenter was finished, he had created a beautiful set of sitar and drums. He tuned it up and began to play. Well, it was that time of year again, time for the Raja's birthday party. So he called all the royal musicians to get together and play for his party. He was so excited to hear all the great music and to see all the people. One by one, the musicians started to arrive and set up their instruments. Then they began to play. The sitar and tabla began playing a duet. Raja was so embarrassed. To which the tabla replied, and the sitar answered, It was his nightmare come true. His secret was out. Everybody knew. He said, "Manji, how could you? How could you tell my secret?" And Manji said, "Oh, Raja, I didn't tell anyone. I just told one of the trees in the forest." "One of the trees? Oh, that must have been one of the logs that the new instruments came from." The Raja looked around and noticed that nobody was getting upset. Nobody was laughing or making fun of him. Maybe it was okay that his secret was out. He took a deep breath and realized he was still a good king, even though he had big ears. So he took off his kantopi, and from that day on, he wasn't afraid to let people see who he really was. The end. Okay, So the next thing I want to do is our freeze game. But this freeze game is going to be our tempo version. So when you hear that slow, largo music, you're going to move in slow motion. Again, it takes a lot of control and a lot of power to move slowly. And when the music stops, you freeze. And then if you hear our andante, medium tempo, we're just going to walk around with our normal walking tempo. And then when the music stops, you freeze. And if you hear it's presto fast, then we're going to tiptoe around the room. Remember, no running. We want to be mindful of our surroundings. Okay, and here we go. And how do we end each music class? With the goodbye song, of course. Repeat after me. The music time is over. The music time is over. It's time to say goodbye. It's time to say goodbye. Goodbye until the next time. Goodbye until the next time. Goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Very good. I'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.